Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Sharpshooting Indoor Range in Spokane, Washington. Once again, these guys were nice enough to let me come in really early in the morning and shut down their south bay. They will have some folks coming in here in their north bay. They've got a great range facility here and a huge gun shop. Tons and tons of firearms, gears, accessories, everything you could possibly need. Suppressors, you name it, in stock, ready to go. I think they're the nation's 4th or 5th largest primary weapon systems dealers. But thank you to Sharpshooting for letting me do the 308 muzzle brake test. I've done 2 5.56 muzzle brake tests and 2 5.56 flash hiding tests, and a lot of people have asked for a 30 caliber muzzle brake test. So that is what we're doing here today. Lancer Systems has been kind enough to loan me this L30 heavy metal rifle. It is an AR-10 that they make, chambered in 308. It's actually 308 Obermeyer, which is just a slightly tighter chamber than 308 Winchester. But anyway, it's a beautiful rifle, lots of carbon fiber. It's a great shooter. I'm going to have a review on this soon as well, but this is going to be our test bed for the 308 ammo testing. And of course, one of the most important things when doing a test like this, where I'm going to fire it, we're going to see how far this rig slides back. I've got the yardstick set up over here. We've got some cameras that'll be set up, is consistent ammo. Because ammo power levels, the velocity of that bullet coming out of it can easily vary by 15%, even with decent quality ammo. And with the oomph of that cartridge varying by 15%, it's going to screw up my results by some amount, maybe a portion of 15%, maybe the whole thing. So quality ammo is extremely important, and I'm very happy to announce that Gorilla Ammunition was kind enough to sponsor me for this test with 308 ammo. They make some of the nicest looking, most consistent ammunition on the market. So this is going to be great. When you chronograph this stuff, the standard deviation is so small. Comes in these really cool clamshell packages. This has their 175 grain Sierra Match King bullet in it. They sent me more than enough ammo to complete this test. Very grateful. Thank you, Gorilla. Check these guys out. They do 300 blackout. That was really their specialty. But now they're getting into self-defense loads for 9mm, 45, 380, and 300 blackout as well. And then 308, they've got some really high-end 223, just super accurate stuff. So thank you, Gorilla, for sponsoring this test. It's going to help me get the best results I can. And you guys, again, Sharpshooting is shutting down their range for me to let me do this. It's going to take a couple of hours. I really appreciate that. Check out their website, sharpshooting.net. Give them a call, Jeremy Ball here, Nick Brown. Tell them I sent you. I want them to know that this actually does drive some people their way, even if you're just like, you know, get a t-shirt or something. But really, they've got great prices. They have everything you can imagine in stock, even hard to find guns. The Glock 43 is no longer that hard to find, but you name it, they have it here. So show them some love, because they're definitely showing it to me, to us, because I couldn't do this test as well here. It's cold, it's raining outside, it's been raining for weeks, so I haven't been able to do it because obviously that'll screw up the protocol. I'm not going to go into the protocol on this right now. Skip to the end of the video. Here's the time in the video where I talk about that. That way we can skip right to the shooting. Once again, thank you very much to Lancer Systems for loaning me this L30 heavy metal rifle. Thank you to Gorilla Ammunition for sponsoring the ammunition for the test, and Sharpshooting for sponsoring the location. With all of that out of the way, the only other thing I'd want to add is go to the link in the video description below to tagthetruthaboutguns.com, because that is where you're going to find all of the graphs, all of the charts, all the information, the photographs, and all the stats for every single one of these muzzle brakes. Their length and weight and price, and a link to the manufacturer, and my thoughts on their machining quality, fit, finish, stuff like that. It's all on T-Tag, so follow that link to get more information. This video, really, it's not that exciting of a video. What it is proof that these actually did what I'm claiming that they did. And you can see on the GoPro and the slow-mo how much fire and blast and whatever else is going on. But most of the information is in T-Tag. And with that, let's do it. Oh, forgot to mention one of the most important things. This rifle has a Cyrac, whatever it is, sorry, adjustable gas block, and I've turned it off. So the action shouldn't cycle. What I'm going to do is load only a single round every time. I'm going to fire it once, I'm going to eject that round, put another one in, and do it again. So every single test, every single slide, there's only one round in the rifle, and the action should not cycle, it should stay closed the entire time. The magazine's here just to act as like a 0 round sled, so I can throw that round in, hit the bolt release, and then do the next one. Okay, first up, this might actually slide off the camera's view, is bare muzzle. 18 2/8. All right, bare muzzle, take 2. (18 1/8). All right, first up, this is the AAC Breakout. And I apologize, it's kind of an older design, but I have it, so I'm going to test it, and some of you probably have it as well. So now you know it cuts recoil in half. Versus a bare muzzle, we have 9 5/8. One more time. Exact same thing, 9 5/8. All right, next up from Dead Air Armament, makers of the Sandman line of suppressors. This is what you get if you order one of their Sandman L's or Sandman S's. It is a QD mount for the suppressor. It's also obviously a brake. (8 6/8). And number 2. (8 just over 3/8, 7/16). Okay, next up, Dead Air Sandman TI suppressor. 13 3/8. Sandman number 2. 13 and just shy of 3/8. Okay, this brake is from Dynamic Resistance. It's their muzzle brake / compensator for 30 cal, 308, 300 blackout. We have 8 6/8. Dynamic Resistance brake number 2. 8 just a hair over 3/8. Let's go down to 7/16. Okay, JP Rifles, JP compensator. 8 5/8. JP Rifles, test 2. 8 1/2, 8 4/8. Next up is the Knights Armament MAMS, MAMS. 9 7/8. Knights Armament MAMS number 2. 10 16, or 1/2 of an eighth. Next up is Control Systems Hex Mod. Just shy of 8 1/2. Hex Mod number 2. 8 1/8. This is also from Control Systems. It's the 3-gun, which is a smaller version of the hex brake. This one's compatible size-wise for 3-gun competition. 8 3/8. Control 3-gun. 8 and 3/8 exactly again. That's funny. I expected the bigger one, the hex mod, to perform better, but Control actually says on their website that the performance is the same. And that's what we found. And this is Lancer Systems nitrous compensator. Has adjustable ports on the top so you can change how much gas vents out. This is what comes on this rifle from the factory. 8 6/8. Lancer nitrous number 2. Just shy of 8 6/8. Something more aggressive from Lancer Systems is the Viper brake. It comes chambered for a few different calibers. It also has vents on top so you can adjust how much gas comes out, stainless or black like the nitrous, but this one vents a lot more gas, rearwards a little. Nice, between 6.5 and 6 5/8. Going down to 6 9/16, and this is our leader so far. Lancer Viper number 2. 6 5/8. Next up is something a little bit more subdued. This is from Lilja, makers of really, really high precision barrels. As you can see, it's the exact diameter of this barrel. If I used a little washer or actually had it threaded so it timed correctly, it would just look like a continuation of the barrel. See how it performs. Just shy of 8 2/8. Calling that first one 8 3/16. Let's do number 2. A 1/16 shy of 8 inches. So 7 15/16. Well, this guy wins the biggest break in the test. It's from a company called Nord Arms. They'll be available in the US soon. Looks like a tank brake. Looks like something you'd find on a howitzer. Sounds like it too, but that performs 6 and just shy of 6/8. Nord Arms test 2. 6 3/8. This is our new leader. Okay, this is from Precision Armament. It is the EFAB, a good all-around muzzle device, compensator, flash hider, brake. 9 5/8. EFAB number 2. Just over 9 5/8. 11/16. That was more pleasant to shoot than a lot of these brakes. Okay, this is Precision Armament's M11A2 or M11 Severe Duty. I have one of these on a Mosin Nagant with a short barrel. 7 1/16. M11 Severe Duty number 2. 7 dead on. Alright, if you've watched my 5.56 test, you are familiar with this one. It won both of the tests. It is Precision Armaments, that's why there's 3 of them here, because this thing has been performing so well. M472. And this is just a scaled up version of that 5.56 one to use on 30 cal. Just a hair under 6.5. One more time, Precision Armament M472. All right, that time under the half. It's almost at 3/8, but just a bit more. So let's go down to 6 7/16. Oh wow, that actually just barely by like 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch beat out the Nord Arms tank brake. This is from Precision Firearms. It's called their LMD. They do a large and a small. I have them both. I'm going to test them both. We're going alphabetical, so this is the large. 7 5/8. Precision Firearms LMD large number 2. Same, 7 5/8. For some primary weapons systems, it's the PRC, or Precision Rifle Compensator, for a .30 caliber. 9 2/8. PWS PRC number 2. 8 15/16. From Seekins Precision, this is the ATC, or Advanced Tactical Compensator. And just a hair under 3/8, 5/16. Seekins ATC number 2. 8 2/8. Yeah, I've seen the questions on the interwebs. Could the little single port teeny tiny brake mounts from Sig Sauer for their line of silencers actually work, do anything as a brake? It's one good way to find out. Just shy of 10 inches, and we call that 9 15/16. Which, alright, that cut recoil in half compared to a bare muzzle. So yes, it does something. And test number 2 on the SIG QD mount. That time we got 10 1/8. This brake is from a company called Sky Arms, and it is one of the smallest, cleanest looking 308 brakes in this test. Has these little fish gills and they're pointed backwards slightly, which should help performance definitely from what I've seen so far. Let's go test number 1. Oh, and I think it's like $60. Pretty low for this class. All right, just a hair under 9. Sky Arms number 2. 9 1/8. All right, so we're more than cutting in half the recoil of a bare muzzle. Next up is the Pro Comp from Surefire, and I got a lot of questions on the 5.56 test about why I didn't test the other ones, the ones that act as mounts for Surefire suppressors. And the reason is the design of the muzzle brake from this point forwards, the part that actually reduces recoil, is identical. They just add stuff at the back to act as mounts. So I'm testing the generic one that anyone would use as a muzzle brake. And if you have a Surefire suppressor, get the QD mount on recoil without the suppressor on, it'll perform exactly like this one. Which is just over 8.5. Surefire Pro Comp number 2. 8.5 right on. This is from Thunder Beast Arms, makers of really nice suppressors actually, super lightweight, strong, very quiet. This is their quick mount for one of their cans. It's called the CB muzzle brake. And as you can see, for a 30 cal brake, it is also quite small. 7 15/16. Solid performance for its size. It also uses rearwards angled blast baffles to direct the gas backwards, like a lot of these really, really high performing ones on recoil reduction do. It's just over 8 1/8. I also have Thunder Beast CB flash hider. It doesn't really have any recoil reducing design features. We'll see how this does. 15 1/8. Alright, so how the front of these tines kind of has a hook and they come together does seem to be doing some recoil reduction. We saw that in the flash hider test as one of the design features of the white noise fossa. And that's 14 7/8. Okay, last but not least, it's a 3-chamber brake from Voodoo Innovations, which is part of Adams Arms. It's called their Jet Comp. Just shy of 8 inches, 7 15/16. Voodoo Jet Comp number 2. Exactly the same, 7 15/16. You know, if you ever feel the need to shoot a 308 indoors, which, let's be real, you probably do, that's the muzzle brake you want, a suppressor, because it echoes loud inside. Much nicer. Okay guys, thank you for joining me for the technical part of the video. I guess you were interested in learning a little bit more, probably arguing about how I'm doing it all wrong. And look, I agree, this isn't really a scientific test. I'm not in a laboratory. But the results, I think, speak for themselves. When I do bare muzzle, when I do any of these brakes, if I do them 10 times in a row, the shortest slide to the farthest slide is usually within 1/8 of an inch. I mean, it is super, super consistent, really consistent. So I realized, yes, I am using the pen of science. This is a Glock pen to trip the trigger in these videos. I do actually have a remote trigger device, but it has a hose, and it's just not as clean or easy or repeatable necessarily as just using this. The Geisley trigger on this gun is super, super light, so I can trip it and not interfere with this at all. In order to actually slide the rifle from tripping it, I have to pull 50 times harder than what it takes to fire the gun on the trigger. So yeah, I'm sticking with the POF, it just works. I've been using this little lock washer to time all of the muzzle brakes because almost all of them do need to be up and down oriented in a specific manner. So that way we've got that all correct. Yes, for the love of God, I am reading everything in 8s, 2/8s, 3/8s, 4/8s. I understand that 4/8 is 1/2. I know how to reduce fractions. I'm sorry I've angered your grade school teacher, but I'm looking at this. If you guys are listening, everything is in 8s. That's going to be the standard unit of measurement. That way it's really easy to compare. Oh, 2 1/8, 2 2/8, you know, that one's more, that one's less. It's like a machinist doing everything in thousands, okay? They measure, oh, this is 50 thousandths, this is 12 thousandths, this is 2 thousandths, this is 100 thousandths, 300 thousandths. They don't say, you know, 2 250ths or 1 125th and blah, blah, blah. Everything is in thousandths to make it really easy. And my background's a little bit in that. I used to machine parts and stuff. Anyway, this isn't in thousandths, it's in 8s. Sorry, I'm not reducing my fractions, deal with it. On that note, I'm writing it down in 16ths because my yardstick is in eighths, so I can easily split those if this thing slides between them. All of it's in 16ths. The data, as you're going to see or already saw, is just converted to decimals for, Excel purposes. Now, please don't try to compare the inch measurements with the 308 test and the 223556 test. The weight of this rig is completely different. This is actually a different table. In no way, because this slides 8 inches or whatever, does it mean that it's twice the recoil energy of the 556 that slid 4 inches. There's no comparison whatsoever between this and the other test. What we're looking at, the inches doesn't matter. I mean, you could do this on your table with your test rig and the inches would be completely different. But what should be the same if you do it is the percentage reductions in recoil versus the bare muzzle and all of the muzzle devices and how they compare to each other. Those percentages should line up the same, so that's really what we're going to concentrate on today. And if you were to do this test, you should find that they all rank pretty much the same as how I got it, especially if you use a good consistent ammo like Gorilla. Thank you again for sponsoring the ammunition. Thanks again to Lancer Systems for loaning me this awesome rifle. Hope you liked the video, guys. Please like and subscribe if you would, and I'll see you on the channel next time.